Hey, what's up, guys and gals? My name is Ricknineg. This is a new system again. What is YouTube doing? Things have changed so much, but that's okay. I'm trying to get used to this whole system. Happy Easter to everyone, and happy Passover, and what else? Happy Sunday, happy Life Day, and yeah. So hopefully you guys and gals are doing amazing. That's me. We are going to look at another I Love Lucy episode today. So I'm really excited to get this done because we are on the last two, the penultimate episode of I Love Lucy, the hour-long episode of I Love Lucy. You guys know what it is. It is called The Ricardos Go to Japan. I wish it was like The Ricardos and Mertzes Go to Japan, but it may be too long to even do that. So let's get started here. The Ricardos Go to Japan. Let me make sure the sound is completely off. It's good. I'll just get started over here. Ricardos Go to Japan. This is a November 27, 1959 episode, and it's episode 12. There are 13 total in the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour. We have Richard Keith, Bob Cummings. He is the big star, who the guest star, that is. Mrs. McGillicuddy, Catherine Card makes her last appearance, of course. And then it says various roles. So we have a lot of other actors, let's say supporting roles, minor roles that are here as well. And Cuban Pete is here as well. Lucy becomes a geisha along with Ethel. So that's pretty cool. Hey, Leslie, how are you? Love from LA, US, and you're sending me love from Canada. Awesome. How are you, GH5B? Lydia, hello. Thank you, Lydia. I see you commenting on my Facebook stuff, right? On my Facebook page. My Facebook Ricknineg page. That's the one that I'll send you guys and gals at. Please go to that one, the Ricknineg page. That's the one you should go to. Okay, why is my phone there? Hello, Nikki. How are you? And there we go. Okay, so the episode is playing. Hopefully you guys and gals are doing amazing. Did you get a chance to see the episode I posted? My favorite video, my favorite I Love Lucy videos. That was really fun to do. I got the idea because I was watching a show. Any of you watch Good Mythical Morning at all? It's a great show. Let's see this thing. Yeah, okay. And it's a great show because they do a lot of crazy stunts and things like that. And they did a bracket for food, like what's the best food or snack. And it was really cool because they did this whole bracket. And I was like, why don't we do that for I Love Lucy? Some people thought it was a little long, and I understand. But then it's funny because if I make other videos that are like 3 to 4 minutes long, people are like, these videos are too short. Can't please everyone. So I don't know. I think I enjoyed it because for me, what the elimination did, and I know I overthought this too. I was like, well, what if I put 2 episodes that are really good? It's not unfair to boot one out. But here's the problem with that. If you put only the worst episodes together, the bad ones are going to be eliminated and you're going to be left with the best anyway. So even if you pit like the worst episode with the greatest episode, the worst one's going to go away. If you pit the best, the second best with the first best, the best, then the second best is going to go away and you're left with the first. So you're always going to be left with the best episode if you follow that. So just something to think about. Callie, here we come. Hello, Ash. How are you? From Oxford, England. Oh, wow. That is awesome. You are pretty far. I think you're the farthest right now. Mickey Woodcock from Oxford, England. Wow. I have yet to go to England. I would love to go to England. I've had, I think, what was the other one? I had someone, not from Hungary, but from the middle of Europe somewhere. Austria. There we go. That's what I was trying to think about. Okay, Morrison22. Hello. This is what Morrison22 says. I love your videos. I was wondering if you would ever explore the show. By the way, if you guys don't know, there's a little section down there called chat. You can type things in and I read it because this is live. If you're watching it with the live icon, if there's no live icon, it's not live. And I read your comments and so forth. So you're saying, I was wondering if you would ever explore the show Three's Company. You know, Lucy was in a special 1-hour episode, Three's Company, and was John Ritter's favorite actress. And was John Ritter's favorite? Yes. And Lucille Ball also said that for her favorite male physical actor was John Ritter. She said he was in her opinion, the best there was, which is a really big compliment because she knew the Stooges and she knew Charlie Chaplin, she knew the Marx Brothers and so forth. So for her to say that, I mean, that's a big deal. So yeah, I would consider doing Three's Company, although I have to let you know that I've already been like a huge Lucy fan. Like I know the show forward and backward ever since I was a little kid. Same thing with Gilligan's Island and shows like Home Improvement. I'm trying to remember here, Three Stooges and so forth. And so the other shows like Three's Company, Home Improvement, Home Improvement I know really well. But these other shows like Martin and so forth, I don't know as well. Like I watch them, but I don't know them like certain shows. And so I want to be able to get into the shows. Three's Company, I've just watched episodes here and there. I think they're funny. Maybe I've watched half of all of them out there. I even think at the end, it doesn't get that great when, everyone leaves and only John is, he gets married and Jack gets married. But anyway, I digress. And the idea is I think you have to kind of get really good at these episodes before you can do the stuff that I do on Lucy. Pretty much, I know these shows like 3D, 4D, in and out. So possibly in the future. You love my blooper sighting, Jay. I was going to say Shay. Jay, nice to have you on the chat as well. Awesome. Oh, so yeah, why don't you guys chime in on this? Outside the ropes, nice to see you in the chat. You say John Ritter and Jerry Lewis were the best male physical comedians. How about Chaplin? The Chaplin factor into this? Because if we're saying best male physical comedians, there's no timeline. So it would have to include Chaplin. How would he factor in there? How would Buster Keaton factor into that? Buster Keaton was amazing. Amazing. I don't know if I would think that, me personally. Well, I don't know. I'll let you guys see. I don't want to chime in now. Nikki, yes, Three's a crowd. I watched the first episode and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? It was just a little, it was just the whole tone was off for me. Anthony, that's a great question. Is The Jeffersons too controversial to review? I don't think anything is too controversial to review. I think controversy's great, but it's like, do you want to put it in the channel? Do I want to put it in the channel? Same thing with the Stooges. The Stooges have some shorts that I'm kind of afraid to get to in the third season, quote unquote. I think it's in the 40s. Yeah, like 1943 and so forth, because they heavily make fun of Japanese people, and that was because the time. Very stereotypical. Some people would even call them racist. And so the idea is, how do we tread with those lightly while not censoring them, if that makes sense, while not being like, oh yeah, they didn't exist, by the way. There's 40 shorts that just didn't exist. That it's, what happened? Well, they're there, but they don't show them. When they all show those reruns or when they syndicate Three Stooges. Yeah, the reason why they don't show certain ones is because they're very controversial, and I have them. And so I'm really trying to decide how to get to that. So there are shows that are very controversial. Sanford and Son, I would love to do Sanford and Son, but there's some controversy there. I Love Lucy is kind of, nothing is perfect, untouched, but it's fairly mundane. People don't really take too hard the Lucy making fun of Ricky because, well, they're husband and wife, right? Denise, you are not late. You're awesome. You're here. There we go, Nikki. I like that. Chaplin was the founding father of physical comedy. If we're talking about, yeah, pretty much. If we're talking about like even on screen, right? Not counting vaudeville. Yeah. See, now you guys are coming up with other things. All in the Family was more controversial than The Jeffersons. How was Sanford and Son into that? Lydia asks, Rick, do you like old classic movies too? Of course. I love Hitchcock stuff. Although I have to admit, I haven't seen a ton of his work. Like, I've seen the main stuff. I've seen The Birds. I've seen Psycho. I've seen Rope, which is my favorite. I haven't seen Vertigo. I've seen, oh, geez. I'm blanking here. Is it over here? It's not there. Trying to look at the Hitchcock film. I don't see it over there. But yeah, he was really, really amazing in his work. At the way that he showed horror and terror and all these things. He was a genius at it. So yeah, old movie. And there's other movies. Like I love the Marx Brothers. I have the whole Marx Brothers collection, basically. So yeah, that's old movies for sure. Stooges are movies. So yes, that was even before they were short movies. So they were shorts. No, physical comedy is something by itself, Adrian. It's just physical comedy. It's when we're talking about physical comedy as opposed to like stand-up comedy. That's not really physical comedy. It's more stand-up. I was talking to that because I'm hanging out with family today for Easter, and hopefully you guys are hanging out or just enjoying yourselves. We were talking about how stand-up comedy is stand-up comedy. It's comedy through words, not so much through physical actions. Although some comedians are very physical, stand-up comedians are very physical. Sebastian Maniscalco is very physical. Let's see, Martin Lawrence is fairly physical as well. There's a lot of them out there. Okay. Yes, Jack Benny and the Arnazes were next door neighbors. Yep. Yeah, they were. I don't know about the whole him going into the kitchen with the violin at dinner. I'm not saying that's true. I've never heard of that, but that would be pretty funny to know about. But yes, a lot of these Hollywood people, everyone that they guest starred with were friends. Bob Hope, John Wayne, Eve Arden was their next door working partner. The stage is literally touching. They had a shared door that connected them. Bill Holden, like I can keep going on with all these people that started. They were there because they were really close to them. Betty Davis, they wanted her on the show, but she got hurt. She couldn't make it. So she was one that Lucy was trying to conquer and get on the show because she was a big fan of hers. Harold Lloyd, there we go. That's a great one. E-Pen. How about Laurel and Hardy? I mean, they are quintessential physical comedians, right? Let me see. Mickey, are you still considering doing a more in-depth video on the musicians in Ricky's band? I'm considering it. I'm not eliminating it, Mickey. Great question. But the thing is, there's not a lot that I know of or that I have on the orchestra members. If you have more sourced information, pass that along. Let me know what media includes a lot of information on them. I'm guessing maybe Desi's book, which I don't have. But yeah. Oh, there we go. Rear Window. Why did I not? I couldn't think of that, Lydia. Awesome. Dial M for Murder. Now, is that really good? I haven't seen it. But I want to watch good Hitchcock stuff. I heard some of his stuff, like the Hitchcock, after Hitchcock Presents, isn't the same. Doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's just different. Jay Tyler, I've never seen the 3D revival for Dial M for Murder. See, I don't know a lot about these black and white stuff done in color. Stooges had a few, and I heard they weren't like super fantastic. There's one, I think it's called Spooks. And it's not really 3D. They just do a lot of shots that would look 3D, like stuff that they would throw at you and stuff like that, but they don't really look like they're coming at you kind of stuff. Hello, Alec, and hello, Arthur. Everything's great with me. As I said earlier, happy Easter, happy Passover, all that good stuff. Happy Sunday. You love how the band laughed at everything they did. Well, the band was pretty... they were there all the time, and so they would, I'm pretty sure they would see the rehearsals, but probably some of them wouldn't be at the rehearsals, so it's good to know. Bates Motel, the TV show, was good. It was good, but that's too strong for my channel, I think. That's a little too much, in my opinion. The Man Who Knew Too Much. That's Hitchcock, correct? I'm not sure. I've heard of it, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure. Anthony, ever considered a crossover with your channels where you drive a cool car cross country, like the Castle of Lucy make the same stops? Possibly, but honestly, Anthony, that would be something in the way future. That would be something where I wouldn't really have to worry about making a living, or I was making a living through YouTube, because obviously that takes time, and it's almost like dive-ins, drive-ins, and dines type stuff. And so yeah, I would do it, but I gotta work too, so. Lucy didn't use many animals, did she? According to Ron, or Ron has that question. For the most part, no. I mean, there are animals in the Italy episode, right? There's cows and chickens and what else? Goats, I believe. Lucy also did in the Lucy show monkeys. She did stuff with monkeys here and there, but it wasn't like she was huge into animals. Yeah. Well, thank you, TV Kahuna. Thanks for all that you do. You're saying to me, and well, I thank you for watching and supporting what I do. That is awesome. Oh man, GH5B. If I could do a crossover with Rhett and Link, I would go nuts. But to be honest with you, I don't think they would find me that interesting because I admire them a lot. I watch them a lot. I watched their first episode. Like, that's how long I've been watching them, like when they just came out. And I've been following them for years and years. Like, what? Because they have like a makeup guy on. They have comedians on. They have Chester. They had Chester Bennington from, Linkin Park. What would Ricknineg be? He would be like a YouTube guy who makes stuff on random stuff. I don't know. But I would be honored to be on with them. They're amazing. They're really great. Like, I admire them. Good guys. From what I see. Baby elephant. Oh, you're Anthony. Really good. Baby elephant, goldfish. I guess. Frogs. Yes. Alec J. Question for me. Okay, for me. In the episode The Charm School, what was the character's name that Natalie Schaefer played? Oh, Phoebe Emerson. I saw that last night. That's kind of funny that you would say that. Phoebe Emerson from The Charm School. That was the name of The Charm School. I think it would be neat if you reenacted your favorite episodes from I Love Lucy and made up your own setup. That would be fun. But I think I'm not really talented at making sets. That's why I make videos, because I think I'm all right at making videos. I'm not the best by any means, but I'm able to do it. And I don't think that I'm that good of an actor, to be honest with you. I can act, but yeah. So Rhett and Link are these guys who have a show on YouTube. It's called Good Mythical Morning, and they do all this crazy stuff. They eat crazy stuff. They try things out. For example, for Easter, they made Rhett and Link, they're best friends since like grade school. And so they got one of the guys, Link, and they basically covered him in melted marshmallow and they made him a peep. They put eyes on him. Like, it was really funny. It's just random stuff. One time they took a bath, quote unquote, in a giant bowl of cereal and milk. It was like gigantic where they both fit in there. They do stuff like that. It's not all food, but yeah, it's just like trying new things that you would like to try out. Yes. Happy Easter, Kimberly. What's your favorite episode of all time? Michael Ian, are you asking regarding I Love Lucy? Is that what you're asking about? I just want to clarify. Yes, Christopher, go ahead. Go spend time with your family. If you guys are with family, like, go with family. You can watch this later. I have a little bit of time now. That's why I'm doing this. And if you notice, it's obviously very late compared to when I used to do this. So, yeah. But that's okay. At least it's there and people will watch it when they can. Oh, you watched The Charm School this morning. Awesome. In the Cornell Wilde episode, was his hotel room the set used for Ricky and Lucy's hotel room, or was it used for the Mertz's room? I have to take a look at that, to be honest. I like to be honest with you guys as much as I can. I'm not going to be, oh, yeah, it's this room. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to take a look at the room because I think the setup was a little different, which is funny because it probably would have to have been identical, but the bathroom was on this side, and so they changed it a good amount. I'm thinking probably more of the Mertz's, but don't hold me to that. I'm going to have to look and make a decision afterwards and see. Maybe it may have to have been like a new set completely. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to see. But great question. I've never been asked that before. Lydia, you love the one where Lucy dances with the mannequin. Yes, that is the one from season 2. That's a weird episode because it's kind of all over the place. Lucy changes her mind, I believe. That's how it starts out, and then it ends up with the mannequin. But I feel that's very, like, the script is very segmented. It's almost like 2 episodes put in one. It's like a Franken episode, in my opinion. Yeah, Michael, my favorite episode is Home Movies, and then Bonus Bucks is second place. They're back to back, and they happen to be my 2 favorites. Lucy in the Bastille in France, right? Ron, did Lucy do only one Christmas special, the one released a few years ago? There was the Christmas show, which was an episode, which was more of a flashback than anything. It was more like they did a little bit about a tree, and then Fred was cutting the limbs off. And then they were reminded of like 3 other episodes, the Barbershop Quartet, as well as I believe when they had the baby, something like that. But then there was also an episode way back in season 2, I believe, where they did it with Santa Claus, and they redid it later in the Christmas one. Yes. Let me see. I'm trying to get back to where I was with the chat, but I left. Sometimes it's hard, guys, I guess, because I'm like, where did I leave off? You love the home movie one. We're awesome. Hello, Will. How are you? Nice to see you drop in. I was gonna make a sound effect with my lips. I was gonna go. I'm doing great, Will. Thank you. Hopefully you're doing well. How much story they can fit into 30 minutes? I agree with you. Like this one was longer. The Japan one. It's not one of my favorites. I honestly don't. I'm not saying Bob Cummings was a bad actor or anything, but I don't even think his his role was even that interesting to me. It was just, I think there was just this weird tone going on in the back of the entire episode. It's almost like they wrote it so that Desi and Bill would be separate from Lucy and Ethel, or Lucy and Viv. But that's just me. All right. Anthony, were you worried about not being able to play Lucy episodes over YouTube? But I think it's better without it. More of a talk show. I mean, it is what it is. You have to adjust, right? That's all what life is. But that's a great question, Anthony. I was worried. I mean, I'm a human being, right? I get worried. But you can't let fear like dictate what happens. You know, people, I think now the channel, there's more people watching now, you know, as opposed to before when I had the entire episode going over here. And so, yeah, it's kind of a talk show. I have my reference material here and you guys can put the episode on or you can just talk about it. A lot of you, like 80 to 90% have seen these episodes. And so most of you know what I'm talking about. Alex says, Rick, I enjoyed the bracket video. I agree with you on the order, except picking the screen test. I'm not a fan of that episode only because of the guy that played the director. What didn't you like about him? He was a little bit of an overactor, I have to say that, for sure. He's not my favorite part of the episode, believe me. Morrison, Ethel's birthday. The scene in the movie theater with Lucy and Ethel. Yeah, it's hilarious. And the guy in the back makes it hilarious. The big guy who breaks the binoculars and then they grab a shoe. I think that was amazing. Arthur, yes, Bonus Bucks. Bonus Bucks is the episode right after Home Movies. It's basically the one where Lucy and Ethel are trying to find the bill. They're trying to find like a dollar bill, like what they used to do, like a lottery type contest back then where they used to say, hey, if you find a bill with this serial number, and they post a serial number, you win that dollar bill. You bring it in within a certain amount of time, and we'll give you like $3,000, according to that time's money. And so that episode is that they found one, but then they ripped it, and they went to the laundry, and then they had to go fish it out. Like it was whole chase type episode, and I love the whole chase concept in sitcoms. It's pretty much, it started with that episode, literally, and then it expanded to other shows. Michael Ian, what's your favorite I Love Lucy-Desi comedy hour episode that guest starred a celebrity? That's super easy. The John Wayne one, the two-parter, even though he only appears in the second part or the second episode of those two. Yes, absolutely. Marcus, who was the bellman in the Hollywood episodes? He looks familiar. His name was Bobby Jellison. His real name was Bobby. And he also appeared in the comedy hour in a few as bellboy, but he doesn't know the Ricardos at that point in the uranium one. Yes, Michael Ian. Thank you for clearing that up. Celebrity meaning that they started themselves. Yep, John Wayne. Yep. Yeah, it wasn't convincing. I mean, that's probably why they didn't use him again, to be honest with you. Lucy and Desi would use people who they loved, they got along with, and who did their work well. If they didn't, they just didn't use them again. So, yeah. But then some, they couldn't use them again because of different reasons and so forth. Will, you recently saw the scene where Ethel and Lucy competes for president for the ladies' final seat. Yep. I think that Lucy comes off very badly in that episode. After all, Ethel's a good friend. I mean, yeah, they're imperfect characters, right? You could say the same thing in other episodes for the Mertzes, in which they basically leech off of their Ricardos. If we get truthful, it's where Desi or Ricky's paying for everything. Yeah, I mean, same thing with Fred. You can say that I mean, they're all flawed. They're all flawed characters. I think that's kind of the point. None of them are perfect. I mean, Ethel is kind of trying to balance her life with her penny pinching husband, but she's also, you know, she enjoys the stuff that Lucy and Ricky do. And then Ricky is a hothead, and Lucy is not great with money, and she lies a lot, and she's manipulative. I mean, these are all things, and that's not saying they're bad people, but they're still fun to watch. They're flawed characters, right? No, I think they that makes us relate to them, you know. Okay, let me see. Ron English. What was the reason Oppenheimer cast Lucy in that drab apartment, cut off from the world? It's an older couple, is only friends. Was it laying down the foundation for its... I don't know, Ron. That's a really good question, but I think it's more than I can probably answer. That would maybe have to be asked to Greg Oppenheimer. I don't want to speak to him for him. He's the son of Jess Oppenheimer, so I'm not too sure about that. Lydia, the one they go to see the lucky fella in the theater and she drops her purse. Oh, you like that one? That's a funny one too. To me, that's more season 6. So it's a fun episode for sure. I don't think it's necessarily my favorite season 6, but it's up there. It's a good one. Yep, Lucy got starch in her hair. That is bonus bucks. Yep. Yes, Bobby was also the milkman in season 1, The Gossip. Yes, The Gossip. GH5B, I would strictly go with Rick. The only people who call me Ricky are literally my parents, my brother, and very, very close family members. I reserve it to them because I was called that since I was a little kid, and ever since I was in school. Oh, Lucy fell in the pond there. So yeah, I would go by Rick. Morrison, great question. I have to think now. What's the most recent thing you noticed in an I Love Lucy episode that you never noticed before? Oh, literally every time I watch, I notice something different. And that's not to say something good about me. It's to say that there's so much to pick up on, right? Like even right now, I can tell how much makeup is on Lucy while she's in that pond. I never noticed that. She is literally super makeup, like caked on. And she's blowing bubbles under the water with the goldfish, and this almost jumped in her mouth. That was hilarious. Yes. So yeah, so literally it's that. Last night I noticed a few things, and that's why I have my little notebook, so I write stuff down. Was there an episode where you agreed on Lucy's side than Ricky's when it comes to who's right? Oh, absolutely. And then sometimes vice versa, I will agree with Ricky and so forth. Hey, Mabel, how are you? Arthur, the terrace on their hotel in California, was that real? As in, could they go over it, or was it all? So they could go over it, but there was a floor there. There was no drop, right? Remember, that whole floor was concrete. There was no going down in that set. Marcus, did Ethel have 2 middle names, or did they forget on the episode? Okay, so most likely, if we use logic and if we use what's the most likely answer is that they messed up, really. But that's not a bad thing. Like I don't see that as, hey, the writers are horrible, right? No, that's not that. I mean, they never thought that these episodes would be shown again. So they're like, well, who cares? No one's going to notice, right? Little did they know there's going to be a guy on YouTube scrutinizing every little thing. Not scrutinizing, but just looking at all these little gems in the show. But anyway, I digress. There is an argument that you can make, a theory that she did have 2 middle names. Like some people do. I have a hyphened confirmation middle name. So, and it's 2 names. So, yes. Which I'll leave to myself. Because it's not really my legal middle name and so forth. Did Ethel have 2? Oh, yeah. Okay. I just read that. See, that's what happens. You like when they get out of the apartment. Oh, when they go and explore? Yep. Phipps is a great big bunch of GIFs. Yep. That's a good one, Brian. I didn't watch that one recently, but I definitely, when I did the bracket, I put a photo of that episode. So yes. What episode am I watching? So if you ever want to know, just look in the description. I'll put it in there. It's called The Ricardos Go to Japan. And so if you ever don't know which one we're referring to, I change that every time in the description before the episode. So yes. So you guys can know. And if there's ever 2, I'll put both of them. I Love Lucy does the TV commercial. You like that one, Preston? I don't think I've seen you before in the live stream. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Easter to everyone. Happy Easter. Happy Passover as well. You've noticed that in the second apartment with the window, How could they exit left? Yeah, that's definitely an error. You're absolutely right, Alec. Yep. What's my favorite song from the show? I'll see you in Cuba in CUBA. That one, as well as Cuban Pete. I like those two. I love the moments when Ethel makes her bitter comments about marriage, like when she said, "Happy days are here again." Yep. Well, Fred has some good ones too. So they're both a good team with those jokes. Hey everyone, the episode where they redo the Mertz's apartment, cushion feathers were blown all over by the fan. Yep. I think I covered that blab tag in one of my blooper videos, so that's pretty cool. Adrian, do you happen to know where McGillicuddy came from? Well, according to the show, Lucy had Scottish ancestry. She mentions that. Wait, is that a spider in my backdrop? Is that supposed to be a joke, TV Kahuna? I'm not a fan of spiders. Plus, I can kind of see myself. I don't see anything trying to scare me. Unless it's something like on my body, I'm okay. Like if there's one here, I'll just fling it off. Like I've really, really worked on my fear of spiders, like a lot. I would have jumped like 5 years ago if you said that. So yeah. People don't really believe, but I'm literally working to conquer that fear. So Alec, you've recently noticed there's a scene that is shot in the kitchen and Lucy exits the apartment because of the angle when she opens the door, you can see the lights of the backstage. Oh, I'm sure. Like I'm definitely gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't know which one you're talking about. Maybe if you could pick out the episode, let me know. So maybe we can get a snapshot and put it on Facebook for people to look at. That's awesome. See, now you guys are getting sharp eyes to notice these things, which is great. Jay Tyler, you thought it was hilarious on the Hollywood tour bus of the stars that Apple and Lucy were on that large woman. Oh, when the large woman sits on Lucy. Yep. Did anybody ever get hurt on all those Lucy stunts? Yeah, I know of a couple, but very minor. And yeah, Desi got hurt once fairly badly, which I can make an episode on, but I don't want to spoil it. So yeah. Cuban Pete was a great number. I am Lily of the Valley. The Cuban Pete number is a classic. It is a classic for sure. Is there a documentary about the show I can watch online? I'm sure you can Google something and something will pop up. Marcus, that episode where Lucy was dreaming, she was back in Scotland, the dragons. Ooh, nice little icon you used there. Dressed like Fred Ethel wanted her to eat. It was weird. It was weird. Well, we have to think about it. It was a dream. So it would make sense that it's weird like that, right? As far as songs, Brian asks, what about Ricochet Romance sung by the Borden twins when they were in Bent Fork? Or what's your question about that? What about it? Do you want to know more about it, or what's the question? Oh, there you go. There's Bob Cummings in the tub. Lucy's trying to get in there and switch the pearls because there's like the real pearls and then the fake pearls. And it's like, ugh, all this chaos. And she dropped in the pool and he's like, yeah, get your hand out of there, Lucy. Lucy was always crazy. Michael, hi, late to the game. You guys are late. Don't worry about it. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a little late. Remember, you can always go back and watch it. Let's say you missed, now we're 33 minutes in case you missed 33 minutes, you can go and watch it later on. So no problemo. Something I always noticed, Lucy had gorgeous eyes. Like you can always see it in when you watch episodes. Like I think she has eyelash. Like they obviously highlight her eyelashes and so forth. But at the same time, like she just had gorgeous eyes. Fred and Ethel's vaudeville numbers are wonderful. A bit corny, even for the mid-50s. But yeah, I mean, but I think that makes part of it. It's almost like it's a joke. It's like an inside joke that it's corny and fun like that, you know? Bob Cummings with the soap. He's dunking his head in and out of the water and like choking on the water. And Lucy's like, please, please. She was so annoying in terms of her character, right? She would always bug these stars. She would always give them the hardest time. They were always just trying to live their normal lives, and then Lucy would bring some chaos into their lives. She would she would make it so difficult for them. That's what I think was funny, that she would take these actors. See, here's my, I wouldn't say issue, but I want to get into this because I think a lot of the more funnier, now tell me if you guys agree, the funnier interactions with Lucy, the character, with the celebrities is when the celebrities are more on the serious side. Now, John Wayne was not a comedian, okay? So then you see Lucy having John Wayne sit on a curler. Like, think about that. This is the most manliest man out there. Think about Rock Hudson, right? Okay, we know about his background and the life that he led. But the fact that Rock Hudson was the manliest of the manliest, okay? And you have him on the show. I mean, he's sitting on that chair the other way, which is totally cool. I think that's very much like Riker from Star Trek. And all of a sudden he talks about Adele Sliff and he goes, he does that whistle thing. It's just funny, right? Or when Lucy and Bill Holden, right? Bill Holden was like, again, the hunkiest man of the men, and he's getting a pie in his face, right? Richard Widmark, right? But then you get people who are more comedians like Bob Hope, and they're okay. It's funny, but they're already comedians. And so I think the funny part was when Lucy would disrupt their lives, if that makes sense. Yeah, so just my thoughts on that. Just my little blabber. Carolina in the Morning, that's a great one. I love that one for Fred. You know, he popularized that song. Do I like Lucy better as a blonde or redhead? I didn't really see color images of her as a blonde. I mean, as a redhead, I liked her traditional Lucy, like the regular look with the little bun back here. That's my favorite look. When I went to the comedy hour, she had that fluffy hair. It was more like an older Lucy look. I never liked that on her because I think it just was like another stage in her life. She just looked older and it made her look, you know, not as young anymore, not as hip. You know, I would always see season 1 and 2. Lucy would be young and hip, you know, that barely married type housewife. And here, you know, she's a little older. Not that that's bad, but you know, it's like she just got older. Yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I agree with you. Well, Fred and Ethel didn't get along, but they still work great together. So I'm just trying to make the distinction here. When you mean Fred and Ethel, you mean the characters as well as the actors, right? I think that Fred and Ethel were friendlier than Viv and Bill were, if that makes sense. Yes. You love when they sang The Waters of the Minnetonka. Oh, yes. Oh, dear. And then Lucy goes, ah. That was funny. Well, same thing, Adrian. I'm going to have to be with you. Like, I agree with you. And I know some people were like, what? You don't know who Burns and Allen were? You know, I don't know everything, unfortunately. And I don't know much about Bob Cummings other than what I know through this. I know he had a show because I looked him up, Bob Cummings' show. I don't know what that entailed. I don't know if it was variety or not. I'm going to tell you, I don't think it was that popular because it's not, doesn't sound super popular. Like, you know, it's not something well known. But I can tell you that, you know, a lot of these actors, I know them because of I Love Lucy. I'm not ashamed to say. To be honest, I found out about Bill Holden from I Love Lucy, Richard Widmark from I Love Lucy. Harpo Marx, I got into the Marx Brothers because of Lucy. Like, that's just the truth. Now, the Stooges I used to watch a while back. That goes back to, like, my dad watching it. But, yeah, I mean, Milton Berle I like because of Lucy. Who else? I mean, I could go down the list, but 90% of them are because of Lucy. That's what it is. And the funny thing is they came on the show because they were celebrities. Like, it was almost like propping up her show. But now we know her show and we don't know these people who are celebrities, which is crazy, That's the craziest thing of the show. Blabtag, the Desert Sun newspaper last week had a several-page news coverage of Lucy Arnaz and the rest of her family. Wow, many great old photos. Yeah, if you can send, if you could send the newspaper, that'd be awesome. But you can also send photos and like message them to me. That's the thing. If now with the internet, right? That's why I have my Ricknineg Facebook page, because you can send me images. You can send me of like Lucy and shows and stuff. Because some people, maybe they don't want to spend money on postage. I totally understand that. I want to make this as simple for you guys as possible. You can just take a couple snapshots and I can get it in 5 minutes. You know, it's pretty cool. All right. Pogo, nice to see you on the live chat and welcome. One of the first houses you went by when you first moved to LA in '84, wow, awesome, was Lucy's. You were shocked that she was out. She was out? No way. What? Pogo, that is nuts. You saw Lucy in her house in '84. Well, I'm not surprised, but that is so cool. Yeah, she was fairly down to earth like that. That was okay. That is a crazy story. Like, that's amazing. Wow. What season was the episode where Lucy tries to smuggle the train tickets out of Fred's coat? Oh, that was the Great Train Robbery. One of my favorites from season 5. That's a great episode. It takes place. Oh, excuse me, not the Great Train Robbery. I'm sorry. Oh, geez, I'm gonna have to look that one up. My apologies. It was not the Great Train Robbery. It was the one right before that. Ricky sells the car. My bad. I was thinking of the train, and then I knew it was the okay. Ricky sells the car. My mistake. Mystery Lover. That's another episode. How old is Fred assumed to be? Because they made reference to him being old. Then the episode where they were selling the whole clothes is yeah. So I think it's pretty accurate that he was about as old as the real individual, if that makes sense. MN02002. Nice to have you on the live stream. You're the first time I see you. And welcome. Your name is Marjorie. You're a big I Love Lucy fan, even with a 14-year-old son. Well, I'd send hello to your 14-year-old son, to you, Marjorie. Best comedy ever. Thank you for doing this. Well, I appreciate it. And happy Easter. I'll give you two thumbs up. Thank you. I love giving you guys shout outs. Awesome. Bob Cummings was a big star in the late 50s. Okay, so he would make sense to be on here, right? Oh my gosh, your son was Harpo Marx for Halloween. That is amazing. From that episode when they went to California. That is really cool. I was Charlie Chaplin for Halloween once. I still have the costume. I was Marty McFly too from Back to the Future. Arthur, you never bought that story of Vivian Vanceville for I hated each other because you ever heard her say something in the first season to hold a grudge. Yeah, I mean, there's always arguments about whether they got along or not. I definitely made a little bit of an informational video on that. Michael Ian, Here's Lucy. I have watched episodes of it, but I'm not a huge fan. Yeah. So I don't believe Desi really ever started on anything that Lucy did afterwards. No. Bill Frawley did. Very momentarily. Oh, Lydia, it wasn't Ricardo Montalban. I know. Actually, Ricardo Montalban was at my first communion. Kind of random fact. He went to my church. And I went to high school with his grandson. Yes. And I knew him fairly well. Yes. It was, oh, geez. Fernando Lamas, who was Argentinian. Ricardo Montalban was not. But yes. Do you think I Love Lucy will still be as popular in 50 years? I can't get over how millions of people still watch it. Leslie, yes, I do think so. I think it'll go down as one of the greatest shows of all time, as it still is. I don't think anything will equate it because it's going to be classic. It's cemented in movie history. Season 6, motorcycle. People are just dropping random words. Season 6, motorcycle. Bill Frawley was born 1887. Okay, I'm gonna go with you on that, Will. I'm gonna assume you're correct. I made an episode where I went to see his grave, and I think that's right. I just can't think off the top of my head, but I'm gonna go with you. Ron English, great question. I can't think of the episodes that the cast said that they didn't like, but there are some like that. Yes, I just can't. I won't say which ones they are because I'm not absolutely sure. Will there be a reboot or a biopic? Hopefully there's no reboot. Don't reboot I Love Lucy. That'd be horrible. And biopic films, there will always be some. There's talk about one with, what's her name? Not Katharine Hepburn. Oh, man, I'm not going to remember her name. You guys will know. You guys ask me all the time what I think about her. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I don't remember her name. In the episode, Ricky wants to raise... Lots of fun seeing William, probably. I'm not sure what that means, Jay. Who are the twins in the babysitting episode? In the babysitting episode, which one? The babysitting episode? You might have to give me more information, Mark, because that might be super obvious. And I'm not catching me. I'm a little slow right now. Babysitting. I'm not sure which one that is. Oh, I see. The ones with the horrible twins. Yeah. They weren't actually twins. They looked nothing like each other. They were just two boy actors. Yes, I know what you're talking about. See, that was me being slow. You provided enough information. Did you ever see any Lucy episodes in her final series, Life with It? I have seen one, the one with John Ritter. It was all right. I'll just give it that. It was all right. Michael Ian, when Catherine Card played Lucy's mom, did she improvise when she? No, that was in the script. Nothing on the show was. It's like most people will take my word for it, but believe me, nothing in the script. Everything was in the script. Nothing was improvised. The only time they would is if they would mess up, improvise to get back on, and then that's it. Yeah, everything was scripted. Everything. They were all professional actors. They were all told what to do, how to act, every movement. Yes, it was like a choreographed theater play. That's just how it was. And it's funny because a lot of people talk about improvisation. Improvisation was seen as non-professional. It wasn't seen as a cool. Now it seems like, yeah, you can improvise. Wow, that person has talent. They can improvise. Yeah, it wasn't seen. It was seen as you were not professional. It was seen as you messed up, right? And so same thing with the Stooges. There's some improvisation on there, but you stay with the script. That's what you do. Improv being a cool thing is a new thing. Yes. Did Desi and Viv or Bill Frawley and Lucy? Oh, they absolutely stayed in touch afterwards. Lucy and Viv stayed in touch. They stayed good friends. When she married Gary Morton, Lucy, there was kind of a rift, and then they got back together right before Viv died. Bill Frawley and Desi stayed together as friends, and he was even a pallbearer for Bill Frawley's funeral, as well as I'm not laughing at the funeral. I was laughing at seeing her with Lucy. He also put a full-page spread just saying, my friend has passed away. Adios, amigo. Goodbye, my friend. I have not seen that episode with Desi Arnaz appears in December Bride. Nope. Well, yes, Will. I mean, it's part of the work. It's part of what you're paid to do, to memorize these lines. That's your life. That's your homework. You get your homework done. It's your number one job. The real TV wasn't really a thing, even for them. Like, they were on TV. There was no internet. There was no phones. Nothing to waste your time. You go home and you memorize your script. That's what you do. So yeah, great that you bring that up. I mean, now we see so many distractions, right? Not back then. Kate Blanchett. There we go, E-Pen. Thank you. That's what I am talking about. Katie, how are you? We are close to finishing, but I'm glad that you're here. Remember, you can watch the rest of it if you guys missed any of it after this. GH5B. So I already did seasons 1, 2, and 3 of my favorite episodes. I didn't do them in bracket form. I only did season 4 in bracket form, essentially still coming up with my favorite episodes. I kind of want to leave it up to you guys. I may do a little poll on Facebook and just ask you guys, what do you prefer? It won't offend me, just if you want to see the bracket, or where I just list like my top 10, or I just do the choosing on my own. I could do either or. It really doesn't matter to me. This one was longer, but I mean, some people like to see more content, like more video footage. Some people maybe just want me to get to the point in 4 minutes. Like, they're different tastes, and it's hard to please anyone. But if you guys can give me feedback, I appreciate that, because I want to post stuff that you guys want to see. Obviously want to put stuff that I want to do, but you know what I mean? So it's a very mutual thing there. What's your favorite I Love Lucy episode where they traveled? So like when they go to Europe, I love the one. The Paris one's pretty good. The Bastille one, with the difference in the interpretations, that was good. I love that one. Denise, you like the bracket? Good. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad you like that setup. I wasn't sure like if people like it, but I usually go with me. Like, if I like it, I'll do it. If people react favorably to it, I make more. People don't, which that happens. I just go back or do something else. I mean, that's just how this stuff works. Brackets for all the seasons. You guys want me to bracket even season 1? Well, I think we're gonna do season 5 next, obviously 6, and then do the comedy hours 1, like all the 3 seasons. Because I mean, there's a few. There's only 13 episodes. I mean, that's. I mean, season 1 has like 39 episodes, and the last 3 seasons have 13. So, yes. Brackets, more cameos and bloopers. Well, I've covered a lot of them, to be honest with you, Michael. I've done a few videos on cameos. You should see them. I did 3 or 4 videos, and I covered most of them. Bloopers are still here and there, but honestly gets to the point where it's hard to keep track. And so plus bloopers, you need a lot of footage. So I'm trying to go into other territory, other information that you guys might enjoy and like, and do other shows as well. So yes, aloha. You thought the LA at Last was a winner for season 4. Yeah. I mean, what's good and I love is that, I think it's good that we don't agree sometimes, guys and gals, in our favorite episodes or what are the better ones, what are not the better ones, and so forth. I mean, that's what makes everything good. For me, just to let you know, the way I choose those episodes the best. Now, we can argue that maybe LA at Last is the best, meaning like quality-wise, it had William Holden in it, the pie, the nose, like there was a lot of stuff going on. Like they arrived in LA, it was like on a high the entire time, as opposed to California, here we come. But I did it, what do I want to watch? What do I prefer to watch? If I had, hey, Rick, you want to watch this or this? Which one am I going to watch? Which one am I going to enjoy watching more? And that's all based on taste. It's like saying, do you enjoy guacamole or salsa? Some people are going to say salsa, some people are going to say guacamole. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you can't really say that one is officially better than the other because different tastes will say different things, See, Alec liked California, here we come. And that's definitely Alec's opinion. We happen to coincide, but, there's nothing wrong with that. Did you ever see, now, if I say that Lucy in Scotland is the best episode ever, which is Lucy Arnaz's favorite episode, Lucy Arnaz Luckinbill, it's pretty funny. Maybe that's a big difference, but no, I'm not there at all. I did not see the one where Desi was the host of SNL. That's pretty funny. You love the Bill Holden, want the Brown Derby. Me too. That was definitely, it was up there. It was top 3, I think. All right, guys and gals, so that is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. I know I got on at a different time, but because of Easter, I said I still want to make a video. So thank you so much for your love and support, as always. Don't forget to browse my channel. There's lots of videos, and I know some people, they'll ask me about stuff here in the chat that I'm like, well, you haven't seen my video, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's tons of material there. Like sometimes people don't like to go back, but a lot of these videos are retroactive. Like you can go back and they're still valid today. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. Go hunt, go through the playlists, go through the browsing, as well as check out my second channel, my car channel. We'll see you next time, guys and gals. Have a happy Easter. Have a happy holiday. Have a happy Sunday. Ron English, right as we finished a great $2 donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That will go toward, of course, the giveaways and all the crazy stuff that I do for the channel. So I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. What do you want to follow for, Michael, on Instagram? Or what do you usually use? You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. Thank you for your support, for your donation, for all that you guys do, as well as Patreon. Go ahead and look at Patreon. There's a lot of perks and things that are there that are not on here. So that's something to check out. Yeah, Michael, add me on Instagram. Say hello. Link is in the description. We'll see you guys next time. And don't forget, be hopeful.